It was another fine day in the port town of Yartar, and FighTavian was making her rounds as a city guard. Generally, the people of the city were law-abiding, and it was a quiet day, so FighTavian thought she might go see her sister, Libarbian, in the library to see if any annoying wizards needed clearing out. FighTavian sauntered towards the library, taking time to take stock of her surroundings and the comings and goings of the city. A strange sound took her gaze into the sky, and some sort of portal opened up, with a flying tentacle ship gliding through. Before there was much time to react, the tentacle ripped apart the bell tower and FighTavian's instincts kicked in. She raided her bow and nocked an arrow and started sending a stream of projectiles towards the ship. The last thing she saw before a tentacle got her was some red dragons pursuing the tentacle ship. FighTavian was not trained for days like this. Here is FighTavian. She is the sister of the previous build who was Libarbian, but this time she is a soldier to represent the fact she's kind of like a city guard. She's had some training. Her race is also a wood elf, but her ability improvements are dexterity and wisdom. For her appearance, I've gone with the same face as last time, same skin color and eye color and hair color. This time though, she has hairstyle 3 instead. For her class, she is a fighter. She loves the bow, so she's taking the archery fighting style. For her skills, she's taken mostly the wisdom-based skills, so perception and insight, mostly as part of her training as a city guard, trying to perceive all the crimes in the city and also trying to tell when people are lying to her. As for her abilities, strength at 12, dexterity at 16, constitution 14, and her wisdom's at 14. I've tried to put her wisdom up high, just to represent the fact that she has good senses and intuition, as the ability description says. At level 2, FighTavian but FighTavian only gets action surge. At level 3, she gets her subclass choice. She's going to pick battlemaster because she is trained in the city watch, the city guard. She's very much a martial character. She's nothing to do with all this magic nonsense. And as a guard, she learned how to trip and disarm fairly well and push people over. Essentially, ways to stop criminals in their tracks. At level 4, we have the ability score improvement. Maybe she could put dexterity up by 2 to give her some extra hit bonus and damage with her ranged weapons, but instead, what she's going to go for is even more training with Martial Adept to pick up 2 more maneuvers, being Menacing Attack and Rally. Since she is a bow user, Riposte shouldn't be coming into play too much, but she does want to help her fellow guard, as it were, and make enemies and criminals frightened. And for her troubles, she also gets an extra superiority dice, which is nice. So these are FighTavian's items. She has the Haste Helm, so at the beginning of combat, she can race hopefully to a high ground if needed. She's got Scale Mail Armor +1, which she bought from Damon in the Druid's Grove. From down in the Arcane Tower, where she went with Libarbian, she picked up this necklace because she wants to know whether people are lying to her or not. Then from just outside the Blighted Village, where I am now, she picked up Flight Fingers. So once per turn, after the wearer dashes or takes a similar action, they can jump without using a bonus action. Smuggler's Ring, because actually she's quite decent at stealth and sleight of hand now. That's what makes her decent at stealth and sleight of hand. Picked up the Ring of Colour Spray just in case someone's nearby so she can blind them to get away. And Speedy Light Feet, she's not likely to be using these very much. It's more of a case of if she dashes and needs to dash, then she has 2 benefits for doing so. Plus she can still get an offhand attack with her 2-hand crossbows, which I haven't mentioned yet. Then for her melee weapon, in case she needs it, she has a Rapier +1 and she's got a shield. She found a Flaming Fist shield from near the Githyanki Patrol. Kind of like a guard shield. She's more comfortable with this sort of shield. So she's got a very high armor class, 19. She's going to be good at ranged attacks. Loads of abilities to use with her ranged attacks from having lots of battlemaster maneuvers. So after killing Auntie Ethel, the group has gone and wandered around the swamp to try and just see what's there, and FighTavian noticed these hostile creatures ahead of time. So she decided to lead the party up behind this large tree, up to the high ground, which is what she's always going to be looking for, so she can try and instigate combat and clear the swamp of these hostile creatures. So we'll see that from high ground, with archery and with a decent dexterity and advantage, she's got a 99% chance to hit this ancient mud method. Now, 2 things before I start. 1, if I click on the offhand attack, my guess is this is a bug. We don't get the archery bonus on the offhand attack with the hand crossbows. And there's no reason for that. We should really be getting it. And the second thing, maybe you've noticed before now, that FighTavian has a bite action. This is because after killing Auntie Ethel, the group had a little rifle through her potions and found Mother's Loathing, which gives bite until the next long rest. She probably won't actually be using this. So let's get this started. We're going to take out these hostile creatures. Maybe we're invading their home. I feel a bit bad, but we need to make sure the swamp is safe for other travelers. So let's not use the offhand attack. Let's use the main hand attack. Easy hit. They're all surprised. And this is how FighTavian likes to fight. Cleverly. Now, she doesn't have an amazing intelligence, but she's got street smarts, having been a soldier and a guard for the city of Yartar. So she's going to take another... In fact, she's going to do offhand attack first. So she can try and hit one of the others. Oh, path is interrupted. And outside normal range. Now, some of you, and including myself really, we can see the range of the weapon with the white circle there. And it looks like the ancient mud method is within that circle. However, what the circle doesn't take into account is height. And that extra height means extra distance, and the range of her hand crossbow is 50 feet. Now, to try and make sure we actually kill this thing, we're going to use menacing attack. Because FighTavian here has learned many maneuvers. There we are. It wasn't so much for the frightened condition there, but for the 14 damage. Now her turn's over, so the rest of the party are going to take some shots, and then we'll come back again when it's FighTavian's next turn. As it turns out, the rest of the party's done fairly well. Gale used his, what's he got here? His circlet of blasting and took out one of the woodwards. Libarbian threw some alchemist's fire, and Lazel took out an ancient mud method over here. So FighTavian doesn't have much to do. She started off the combat particularly well for the party. We're just going to go for 2 attacks, just in case one misses, and we can't really hit the woodward. So yeah, this set of hostile creatures has been taken out, and is now safe for people to walk around. The swamp, that is. FighTavian is fairly perceptive, and she found this wooden crevice and a letter to Kagha inside. And being part of the city guard, she's gonna pick up on clues. So she has a read through, she thinks about it, and she's heard of Foul Dawn and the Shadow Druids. It was quite a big thing back in the day around Baldur's Gate. So we're gonna go speak to Kagha. So we're here to confront Kagha.
What?
Here come the 3 blind mice. We're gonna show Wrath the letter.
Kagha, have you lost your mind?
And FighTavian is generally on the side of good, not the Shadow Druids, so you seem intent on forcing me to take your life, so be it.
Oh.
When FighTavian finds herself in a situation where she's next to a few combatants in melee range, she has 2 options. She can potentially fight in melee range, since her dexterity isn't so bad and she's got a +1 weapon, a dexterity of 16 and a rapier +1. Or, if she has action surge, she has the other option of dashing away and then action surging to then take another action, which is what she's going to go for, because she's much better at shooting than she is at melee combat. So we're going to disengage. Unfortunately, there's no high ground. Maybe there is, actually. We're going to try and get some high ground up this way. Might not work. And we've got archery. We don't have high ground from here, which is a bit sad, but maybe next turn we will. We are going to action surge. And now we've got a much better chance to hit, or 5% better chance to hit. If we had high ground, it would be slightly better than that, but never mind. I'm going to go with what we can. And considering Lazel is up next, who got her greatsword dropped because of heat metal, we need to make Kagha try and fall. Well, we've got lots of options. This is the good thing, or sometimes a bad thing. We are going to try and trip up Kagha. Oh, and it worked, breaking her concentration. Also, perfect. Now, nobody is really in trouble. If they were, she would give a rallying shout to them to give them some temporary hit points. But as it is, she can use her offhand attack, try and shoot. We'll try and whittle down Oladen. Oh, it's a miss, never mind. After being knocked prone, Kagha was definitely vulnerable to attacks, and Lazel just did a lovely 15 damage attack, using her own disarming attack. So these 2 battlmasters here really backing each other up. So it's FighTavian's turn again. I just want to point out at the beginning of combat she got an extra 10 feet of movement speed because of her helmet. I'm going to try and get this a little bit higher. There, we're a bit higher, but now the target is out of range. That's as good as we're going to get in this battle here. But FighTavian will always be looking to find the high ground. So although FighTavian does normally like ranged attacks, since someone is prone, she will get advantage on her melee attack. So she's going to run up, also knowing there's no real need to be ranged anymore. She's not in any danger. And with only 2 hit points left, just going to go for it. We did get advantage, even if it doesn't show that we have advantage. And then with the offhand attack, since we've still got a bonus action, just take a shot. And against a single enemy, although it might seem a bit overkill, she will use her Ring of Colour Spray. Because then everyone else in her party will have advantage on the attacks. Plus, she still gets an offhand attack. She's going to run away. She shouldn't be hit, to be honest. Since he's blind, he can't take opportunity attacks, is what I think just happened. And so she's got advantage on one attack, and everyone else here is just gonna take care of him. There we are. Lovely critical hit from Lae'zel. FighTavian has seen too many injuries and deaths caused by goblins and caravans looted on the way to and from Yartar that she cannot handle a camp of goblins here, especially when they're desecrating a temple. Even if she isn't a Selenite, she knows that this is not appreciated. So she is going to command the party to get rid of these goblins, and she's going to start the fight from up here. So she's going to start off by trying to get rid of any threats. So she's going to try and disarm. She's going to disarm ranged here against the Sharp Eye, knowing and seeing that the Sharp Eye has a ranged weapon. Although it didn't work, it's definitely the right thing to do. And so she's slowly going to be commanding her party from up here to get rid of the goblins. So unfortunately, that Sharp Eye shot an arrow of fire. Knowing just how angry her sister can get, she's going to actually support Libarbian before she runs in for a few extra hit points before she rages, and then try to control the battlefield, or maybe in fact try and kill the Sharp Eye. And it's time for an action surge and get rid of Crusher, get rid of the goblins that are closest, taking them all out, leaving just a couple here. So Libarbian is already raging now. She has no fear, she wouldn't have any fear anyway, and is happy just to run in, taking attacks because she's raging and got extra hit points. And we can try and get rid of an annoying little bugbear. FighTavian will keep her commanding position from up here, helping to support the melee characters down below. And just in case someone does jump up, she'll be able to help out Gale, while still being able to attack creatures lower down. Unfortunately, towards the edge of the range, they are out of the normal range, as it were, but she will try her darned best. FighTavian can see that her fellow party members don't follow her great ideas. They're running off towards the goblins, so she does need to catch up. She's also noticed that this Devout is concentrating on a spell and also just poisoned Libarbian, so it's perhaps the next target to go after. Unfortunately, it's only a 60% chance to hit. There's no way to improve that right now, but to be able to do enough damage, she is going to attempt to use Menacing Attack. Because if it misses, it doesn't actually use up a superiority die, which is all good. Considering we might actually be able to kill a goblin with the offhand attack, she's going to look around, maybe go for this one. Ooh, not quite. There was a chance that they would die. Also, they're one of the blessed goblins. FighTavian has a dual hand crossbows out, doing the thing she does best. Killing goblins. Alright, she has an offhand attack, which could potentially kill this tracker. Oh, if it hits, it's going to kill this tracker, though. There we are. 2 shots, 2 dead goblins. So during the previous turn, the tracker here shot an arrow of acid in FighTavian's face. Gale actually finished her off. Now, we're nearly the end of the battle, doing quite well, and FighTavian here has always been supporting her party members. She isn't necessarily doing the most damage. She's going after potentially the more high-value targets. We've got a Warlock now up here, who's recently joined the battle, and could cause problems. So, we're going to try and push it off the top here. Yeah, there we are. Knocked it down, and it was taken out. In fact, it died from the hit alone, which is why the battlemaster maneuvers are great. Apart from just the extra effects, we can see they do extra damage, and she's actually taking some damage herself. Now, unfortunately, she cannot rally herself, which kind of makes sense. But as a fighter, she's got second wind. She's going to be fine. She could have used the bonus action maybe to shoot that tracker up there, but it probably won't prove to be too much of a problem. So we're down to the last goblin now. Grat got knocked out. One goblin over here. Gale Misty stepped over here, and she's just going to go for it. It's a miss, but we've got other people going. She knows that her fellow party members will have a shot at doing this. That's all fine, and Gale's just going to finish this off for certain. So let me know what you think of FighTavian. Is she a nice support fighter? Let's get rid of Cloud of Dagger, shall we? What choices might you have made instead of making her a battlemaster and picking up an extra 2 battlemaster maneuvers at level 4. Thankfully, every short rest she gets all her battle maneuver dice back. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, please do consider subscribing, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.